I wish I'd taken a photo of it because the story just seems so ridiculous that it could possibly be true. Look at it. There's two, like, this dress is so big, you gotta put two on you. We just wrapped the shoot. Those guys are great to work with. I really enjoy making those videos with them. This kind of reminds me of a story where we went to China and shot the short film for this thing called the 48-hour film festival, where we had 48 hours to basically make a short film. As we were on this trip, we heard a lot of stories about how entrepreneurial the Chinese people can be. One of the stories that we heard was that the cooks from hotels would actually pour their oil at the end of the day down the sewers at the back of the hotels. Now what would happen is that somebody would come during the middle of the night with a canister on their back and a ladle and actually scoop out that oil from the sewer and put it into their canister. The rumor was that they took this oil and they would go to their kitchen or wherever they were and recook the oil so that all the impurities were taken out of it. Then they would repackage the oil, put it into new plastic containers and sell it to the vendors who use the cooking oil to cook their street food. This rumor sounded so ridiculous, but it was one of the more interesting ones. As we were driving back from the Great Wall of China, I was asking my tour guide if this was true. And he said, unfortunately, it is. It was getting quite late. And as we were pulling around the corner, in the alleyway was a man with a canister on his back with a ladle, scooping out something out of the sewer and putting it into his canister. I wish I'd taken a photo of it because the story just seems so ridiculous that it could possibly be true. But I don't know. As I was talking about the trip about China, I realized that one of the things that happened when I was over there was that every time I came across a Chinese-speaking person, you know, they always start talking to me in Mandarin, which is fair because I look like this looks Chinese. I mean, it's always kind of interesting because I've always sort of felt like I'm a person who is of two cultures in the sense that, yes, I am definitely born of two Malaysian parents, but at the same time I grew up here in Australia and I don't speak really anything apart from a small dialect that is spoken in Malaysia, but not many people speak it. So growing up in Australia, English was my first language. And what was funny was I used to get these backhanded compliments from all these Caucasian people basically saying things like, wow, I'm really surprised you don't have an accent. Well, your English is pretty good. Yeah, you're not like the other Asians. I know people are just trying to be nice. It's like you don't really fit anywhere. You don't really fit on one side of this. You don't really fit on one side of the fence. You kind of have both, which is not bad. Like being Chinese is kind of cool. Like Chinese New Year's coming up and red packets. I wouldn't trade that for anything. That all being said, I'm thinking about learning Mandarin. I just want to get rid of that misunderstanding that when next time I go to China, I want to look like I can speak Mandarin. So I'll be working on that very soon. I'm going to try at least anyway. Anyway guys, thanks for listening and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
The Harlem Shake.